Evolution.org episode 620 is coming your way. Today we're going to do a sit down interview with Noah Wixx, who's a veteran on the forums. He's got some excellent logs going. This is his third log, I believe, that he's got up, and he started in on January 1. So first off, Noah Noah, and then space Wixx. You can look him up on the forum. In the show notes, we're going to link his profile and we're going to also link his logs. So you can go on there and check out his logs. It's very fascinating to see what he has done. So, Noah, let's get right into it. First off, we've had you on the show. I believe this is the third time we've had you, correct?
Yeah, third time, which you know what they say, third time's a charm. Had a
Yep.
couple advancements since then, so happy to be back.
Yeah, so Noah's been one of those guys on the forum. He's worked his way up to be a moderator, VIP, and he's also a logger on the forum. So he's a really big contributor on the forum. So we like to have him on the podcast at least, once or twice a year to talk about his stuff. So Noah, first off, touch a little bit about your stats so the guys can kind of get an idea of what you look like, and talk about how long you've been training and how long you've been using steroids.
Yeah, so basically my journey started back in 2023. I was very green and a rookie. I had studied steroids in the past, but never had any use of them. I started out pretty simple. I just did a mild test and Primo stack to get started. I have a very fond love for Primo. It was everything that I thought it would be. And after that, I kind of quickly diverted into other compounds. I was always a fan of NPP, just the mechanism of actions, what it can do, the possible strength benefits. So for this bridge, I did like a 10-week cycle layout, which started with test sip, Masteron, NPP, Proviron, Cialis, and then also just for like support supplements, I threw in some N2 Guard and HC Generate just to start. Uh, I quickly noticed, I'd say about maybe 2 or 3 weeks in, I had a bit of anxiety. I can't say that it was any of the compounds or anything like that. I think it was just a weird time. Was just feeling a bit anxious. So after about 3 or 4 weeks, I dropped back down just into test sip. And I've been on test sip since that 3 week mark, about 250 milligrams with 20 milligrams of Proviron daily. So that's what I've been on. Kind of just figured, let's drop it down. Notice some minor issues. So let's just make it easy. Let's make it simple. Let's just do like a sports TRT. And it's been fantastic. Proviron was one of those compounds that I kind of slept on for a long time, but man, after using it, even at just 20 milligrams, I've just noticed insane benefits. Just overall, even with something as simple as testosterone, it just boosted the way it worked just 100% more than I could ever even imagine it would. Like I feel great on Proviron. My lifts are strong, a little bit of
Mhm.
muscle hardening. So I it's fantastic. It's one of those compounds where I think that from here on out with my cycles, I'm always going to run a low dose of Proviron with it.
Yeah, some people react really good to it. Some people are like, it's okay, but it really does a good job of binding to the sex hormone binding globulin, so it's going to free up more of your testosterone, and it's a very low side effect. It's almost like a drug more than a steroid. So it's like, And did you notice your anxiety went away when you dropped the Masteron and NPP?
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
it took a while, but like I said, I can't blame the NPP. I'm not one to be like, oh, the compound did it or this did it, because
Mm.
we all have busy lives, we all have stress in our lives. It could have been mitigating factors.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
that's
I
not. Yeah, you've
still
got to kind of. It's like you can't compare apples to oranges because you could have ran anything. You could have ran nothing and had anxiety if you had a
Yeah,
ton.
exactly. So for me, it's something that I have stashed away that I'm going to obviously I'm going to try it again in the future. Uh, my coach and I just figured, let's just keep it simple. Let's just do what we know
Mhm.
works, what I'm happy
Yeah.
with. And
I'm surprised your coach puts you on such low dosing. Usually coaches want to put people on crazy dosing because they want you to be happy. They want you to, it's like going to a car dealership. They want you to get the car with as much bells and whistles as possible so you can be like, wow, this car is amazing. They don't want you to buy down a stripped down car. So it's kind of interesting that your coach did that. Is he like someone who really cares about you or?
oh, absolutely. Me and him, it's more like brothers. Like
Yeah.
I love him like a brother. He's been with me for several years now, and he's always been very much what would you like to run? What doses do you feel comfortable with? And if I kind of go too far, he'll be like, nope, we're gonna dial it back. That's too much. I don't want you to run that. He's very much in line with conservative dosing, proper blood work,
Mhm.
pre, mid, post. He doesn't like to push things. He likes to
Yeah.
keep it simple. He knows what works.
He likes
He's
to
been
keep
in the
things
game.
under control where
Yes,
you don't lose
every
control of
variable.
things. Yeah. Because if
Hmm,
you run too
100%.
much stuff, these guys, they'll run like 2, 3 grams of gear and then they like lose control of things and then they don't
Yeah,
know what's causing what. They just don't have any control. So it's kind of scary to be in a cycle and seeing your blood pressure go up 30, 40 points and seeing your cholesterol go up, total cholesterol up 120 points. And you're like, man, I'm losing control of what the hell is going on here?
yeah. It's something where I'm actually afraid to run super high stuff. I think the
Mm.
highest I've ever
So
gone
they,
was
so like, it's almost like mentally you like have issues running things at high dosing where it's counterproductive.
right. Because if I run something too high, that's going to give me anxiety in itself because I'm
Mhm.
expecting terrible things to happen. So
Yeah.
for me, I like moderate to low dose because then I know that I'm going to be virtually side effect free and any sides that possibly will occur will be so minor that I can control them.
Yeah. It's like someone who's very aggressive and has a history of going to prison, and it's just like they run a high dose and it's just going to make you more of an asshole? So it's like it's better just to kind of keep things under control. And it works good for you because now you can go work out and you can sleep and you can recover, and you know what
Yep.
I'm saying? You know,
100%.
yeah. So it's like that's your strategy and it's working out good for you. Do you plan in the future to kind of in a on the slog. How long? It's a 10-week cycle. It started January 1.
Right.
So, where are we at? We're see February, March. We got what, 2 more weeks on this?
Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty much because I had two bottles of test for this, and I'm pretty much at about I'd say um maybe 5 mLs left of the
Mm-hmm.
test, maybe a little less till it's done. So Proviron's pretty much almost ran its course as well. So yeah, I mean
Hmm.
with the
So what
cycle
what
in general,
what has been your changes from it's been 8 weeks. What have
yeah.
you noticed in terms of physique looking in the mirror? Let's start with there. Like just looking in the mirror compared to 8 weeks ago.
Sure. I noticed that I'm rounder, I'm more full. Um, Vascularity is pretty good on this. Just mainly the main takeaways I've noticed because I've been in the middle of a recomp with this. Um, a lot of strength gains. I've gotten
Hmm.
exponentially stronger
Hmm.
than what I have, and it's
What
weird
what
because
can you be specific on that? What lifts have you noticed you've gotten stronger on?
definitely legs. I hit a 945 pound leg press for 10 reps
Hmm.
just last week. Actually, I wanted to go for 1,000, but my coach kind of put the kibosh on that. So
Hmm.
we dialed it back down, but just my ability to go to depth and pause for long periods of time, being able to extreme stretch, especially with like leg movements, noticed just in general, my legs have gotten a lot stronger. But overall, I would say shoulder press has gotten stronger. Just all my lifts in general,
Hmm.
they've all gone positive. Like I'm doing reverse pec deck for rear delts. I could do over 200 pounds, like for 10. So it's just weird because I remember when I started, I'm barely doing like 120. So it's like over these like almost 10 weeks, it's just my lifts have just exploded in numbers.
Just from that little bit of gear, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've responded very well. I can't really explain it. I know like some people they either respond really well to certain things or they just kind of don't. And I don't know if that's genetic based or if it's training based or if they just don't have everything put together. But with my plan
Mm.
and with my coach's plan, we have everything so structured and set that I've just
Yeah.
everything's been going up.
So it's like it sounds like the steroids have been kind of the icing on the cake. Touch on your
Yes.
let's start with because we're on that subject. What has been your training splits? Have you stuck to the push pull leg 3 day split the whole way, or did you kind of adjust it?
I have stuck with push pull leg split the entire way. Coach just recently added a fourth day, which is just cardio and core. So it's about 10 minutes of planking, an hour of cardio. So now I'm
Mhm.
up to about 60 minutes, 4 days a week. So the split has honestly been so simple. And I think
Yeah, it
people
is.
overlook simplicity and they try and go for the home run and make things more complex than they need to. But for me, it's just been two working sets, 12 reps, 10 reps, and done deal. So I
Mhm.
mean, the simplicity is what I think has gotten me stronger, and has really helped me step my game up and evolve over time because I'm not overtraining. And that's an issue a lot of guys run into. Yes, I do a lot of movements. And if you look at my logs, there's anywhere between 12 and 14 movements, but I'm only doing two sets of movement. And some people might say, hey, that's a lot of volume. But for me, that's actually cut down. If you look at my old logs, that's cut down from the volume. I used to do 5 sets of 15 for everything. So
And then on the cardio, you started out at 3 times a week for 40 minutes. Has that been consistent, or have you adjusted that?
yes. So it's been consistent, but I would say probably within the last week or two, coach has upped that to 60 minutes 4 times a week. So in my head, because he hasn't really said it yet, but by upping
Mhm.
the cardio, I think he's getting ready to put me into a cut.
What type of cardio have you been doing? Just in the
Uh,
gym or?
yeah, just treadmill. I like to walk uphill at a slight incline. I mean,
Mhm.
no more than
Mhm.
4.5, and I do
You
about
don't
3.2 for
you don't
speed.
do anything like outdoors or anything?
Well, it's it just snowed a few days ago and it's still cold by me, so
Yeah.
I try and stay indoors as
Well,
much as
you can't go
possible.
skiing or snowboarding or
Oh
something?
my God, man. If listen, man, if I went skiing, you I wouldn't be here right now. We'd be talking from a
Yeah.
hospital bed, Steve.
Oh, I know it's so dangerous. It really
No,
is.
I couldn't do it, man.
Yeah.
I'm not a skier.
Find me a skier who hasn't broken a bone yet, and they're probably not, you know, doing
Yeah.
a tough ski course. So
Yeah, with the goal of competing in 2026, I feel like if I did any extreme
exactly.
sports, my coach would be really mad at me. But as far as like cardio, I usually stick in the gym, but once it gets warm out, because I love to go on walks with my dog. She's about 6 months old now. So once it starts to warm up a little bit, I'd like to do my 60 minutes with her and kind of we go on trails and nature hikes and stuff like that. Cause I do love being outside, but being in the Midwest, man, it's pretty brutally cold for a while. Like so I like to stay indoors when it's a little chilly.
Talk about your diet a little bit because
Sure.
you know, it seems like your diet is really, you know, clean. You have a lot of clean foods. Like in this past 8 weeks, you've had all these good results. Have you had any like cheat meals, or is it just keeping clean? Because if you take a look at Noah's log, you'll see he eats things like ground beef, avocado, broccoli, brown rice. It's very, very just clean whole foods.
Yeah, as far as eating clean, the only time I'll ever deviate off of this diet is when my coach allows it. So, what you see in the log is what you get. And I know a lot of guys, they'll be like, oh, post up what you're eating, post up what you're eating. And I always have to remind guys on the forum, guys, if I post up what I'm eating, it's going to be the same food all the time. And you're just going to get bored with seeing it. Like, it's always ground beef, it's always brown rice, it's always broccoli. The only different addition I made this time was adding green beans. And so instead of 1 cup of broccoli, what I normally do, now I'm up to 2 cups and then 3/4 green beans just to get a little bit more fibrous veggies in there because
Mhm.
I love veggies. Guys have problems with veggies. I think veggies are awesome. Little salt, little pepper, done deal. And at the end of the day, sure, it should be enjoyable for some guys, but the way I look at it is I want to train my mind and my body to become a machine and work in unison, right? So if I'm eating the same every day, and I tell myself I'm not eating for taste, I'm eating for results,
Hmm.
the food's going to taste just fine because the results are going to be the payoff in the end. So as long as you cook it right, a little bit of spices, who cares if you eat the same thing every day? If you get results and you look 10 times better than what you did when you started, who cares what it tastes like? That's just my perspective.
So are you cooking? Are you prepping the food? Tell us
Oh
some
yeah.
of these. What do you use to? Do you use a steamer? How do you cook these
Oh
vegetables?
man. So I have a big wok. So I can fit 14 pounds of ground beef in this wok. So
Oh,
yeah, it's phenomenal, man. Like I can't even explain it. It's the coolest thing ever because instead of using multiple dishes, I just clean it real quick, wipe it out, and I cook everything in this wok. So I mean, I'm cooking 10 pounds of broccoli in this wok, and so it's pretty easy. I like
you
to
cook them
typically
together or do you cook them separate?
no cook them separate,
So you
but
cook them separate, then you like store them and
yep. Hmm.
that's
Yeah.
good.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So typically what I do is I'll make 24 meals at a time. So
Yeah.
that
You can
way
go on his log, by the way, and see. It's really fascinating the way you have them stacked. It's like a work of art the way you have them stacked.
I try and take pictures and make it interesting for guys because from where I started to where I came from, I understood the beauty of a log and I kind of just started to have fun with it and treat it more like a diary and an open
Hmm.
journal. And you know, the best part about this is I have people now that come up to me and say, "Hey, I actually eat the way you eat now. I got inspired from your diet and the simplicity of it and just how you just keep going with it." Or, "Hey, I started to do this lift because of this." There's been so many people that have either DM me along the way or just commented on my log and that's kind of the best part about a log. At first, I started to do it for myself just to keep track, but then I quickly realized I'm getting to help a lot of newer people. And that to me is the most satisfying part about this. It's not the gains, it's not the results, it's not the gear. It's
Yeah.
being part of a community and helping other people. And that's why I love logging and I try and be as detailed as possible. Because if you read my stuff, I leave it all on the line. I'm not shy. I
Yeah.
literally go into my mind and tell you guys how I'm feeling. If I'm sad, depressed, anxiety, happy, I literally put it all out there.
How have you been doing in terms of meal timing? Do you wake up, have breakfast, go work out, or do you work out fasted and then eat? What's been your kind of routine when it comes to meal timing around your workouts?
So what I like to do is I'm usually up around like 8:30, 9 at the latest. And what I like to do is I like to fast until 4 or 5 p.m. And then I'll eat two meals at work because I work second. So I eat two meals at work and then I have a protein shake at work. And then I'll go train and then do my cardio and then have my last two meals after. So typically I'm up 8 a.m. I don't eat until 5 p.m. So I do a little bit of a fast every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I used to train fasted and before work, but
Mm-hmm.
it's easier to train after work now because the gym is a lot quieter and
Oh
it's
yeah.
24 hours. So I've kind of adjusted and my coach is pretty happy with it too because
Yeah.
um during the recomp, you know, he wants me to have at least a little something in there. And now that I've changed my routine and train after work, I have the ability to get two meals and a protein shake in. So I think that has also contributed to my endurance and my strength because for a while there, I was eating 341 grams of carbs coming from brown rice and veggies. So,
Wow.
yeah, I noticed I was afraid of that because I've never done high carb before. But in all actuality, I felt fantastic and my
Yeah.
strength and endurance was crazy. So,
Yeah,
I,
what's funny is in the blue zones, their macros when it comes to carbs is like 60, 70, even 80% because it's all, it's all like beans, peas, vegetables,
mhm.
fruits, stuff like that. So they get and sweet potatoes and things like that. So it's interesting. But I mean, certain people react really good to carbs and certain people don't. Like I like to cycle my carbs. I'll have like I'll go heavy on carbs for a few days and I'll cycle it back down. And when I go like too much on carbs, I start getting a little bloated and I start feeling it a little bit. So then I know, hey, it's time to back off a little bit. So yeah, I mean, it's that's another thing about these logs. Everybody has a different strategy, and the way our DNA is set up, it's like some people react better to high fiber, some people react better to low fiber, some people to high protein, low protein. So it's all about finding what works for you. So it sounds like you found what worked for you pretty good.
Yeah,
Has there been anything you've noticed about your specific body of certain foods that you don't react well to?
well, I'll notice right away because kind of just like you were talking about, like the bloating aspect. I like to keep my diet simple because I know how my body's going to react, how it's going to look, and how it's going to respond over time. So that's why you see my strategy, because I know certain people will comment and be like, "Oh, you should switch it up and try this and try that," and as grateful as I am for all the comments and I love the guys on the forum and how they always support me and interact with me, the reason I don't switch it up is because I know exactly what I'm going to get each and every time. I know that I digest brown rice really easily. It's easy on the system and on the stomach. If I do switch anything up, it would be sweet potato because I know that I can digest and respond well to that as well. So
Mhm.
it just really, everybody's different and everybody's body just responds different. And I just know for myself what my body can tolerate and what it can't.
Yeah.
Because if I go off the rails,
Have you been eating like this like your whole life, or is this something you've just started doing the past couple of years?
so when I was in really, really good shape, training in my early, mid, and late 20s, before I was on here and kind of doing the whole competitive scene. I ate pretty much like this a lot. Once I started taking bodybuilding as a serious hobby, so to speak, I ate like this a lot. And then, once, the unfortunate events happened a few years ago, I was out of the gym for a while and I pretty much just ate whatever I want. And I pretty
Mhm.
much screwed myself over by doing that. So now we're back here just trying to build a better body and see if we can, win some shows and maybe a pro card one day. So that's kind of where I'm at now. But yeah, roughly I ate pretty much like this um,
Mhm.
for a long time.
Okay. And then you mentioned your log about injuries. Talk a little bit about the injury struggle you've had to endure, and then talk about what you're doing about it.
Yeah, it's just a stupid knee, man. I have arthritis in my right knee, so it was diagnosed 3 years ago now. So trying to squat and stuff is just it's a headache. But our gym just got a hack squat, and I noticed that I can do that no problem. So, very thankful for the gym and the hack squat. So, what I've been
Mhm.
doing about it is I've been using BPC 157, just at a standard 500 micrograms, just 250 in the AM, 250 in the PM, just spreading the injection
Mhm.
out. And
So
it's helped a lot.
where are you pinning it exactly? Are you pinning it in the back of the knee, or are you pinning
No.
it like in the front?
Oh, no, brother. That's going right into the front by the kneecap, right underneath it.
Mhm. So
So,
underneath the knee. So do you feel out an open spot, or
yeah. So, if you look at the knee, you know how like when like the tibia goes up into like where the kneecap is, if you look on the side of that, there's
Mhm.
like a little indent that you have that you
Yes,
can push
yes.
with your finger right into
Mhm.
there.
Oh, so you go in kind of on the side.
Yep, at an
And then
angle.
what size? And this is a question a lot of people want to know on the forum. I'm lucky. I got short
Yeah.
stock. I got short stocky limbs, so I never have to worry about knees and elbows. But a lot of the lankier guys have to, because it's almost like you put so much pressure. So this is great information. So what
Mhm.
kind of needle are you using? Like a half inch,
Yeah,
29
so
gauge?
actually I do a 29 gauge insulin syringe and it's an inch in length because with
Wow.
BPC you want to get as close to the injury as possible.
Hmm.
And I mean, you say wow, but when you look at the grand scheme of things, and I'm using a 25 gauge needle that's
Yeah.
1 inch to go into my muscle as deep as possible, a little 29 gauge insulin syringe is nothing. I just pinch a little bit of the
Yeah.
skin and go in there. But
Does
yeah, an
yeah.
insulin.
Do you feel anything when you push it in to the
So
knee like that?
typically,
Yeah.
not really.
Oh, okay,
'Cause
good.
I
Yeah.
well, because it's kind of a dead zone. Because you know how sometimes our knees are a little rougher with the skin. So it's kind of a dead spot. You feel a slight little pinch, but it's like,
Mhm.
oh wow, I felt that. It's not like, oh my God, this hurts. But
Yeah.
I tell guys, if you're not comfortable with an inch, just use a half an inch for
Yeah.
for the needle length. But the only thing I really feel like when you inject BPC because you're using backwater, you do feel like a slight small like little burn, nothing crazy. You just feel
Yeah.
it go
Yeah.
in, and sometimes you'll get like a small lump. But I just rub it with an alcohol pad for a couple seconds and just massage it out, and pretty
Yeah.
much that's it, man. In and out, done deal.
And then have you noticed it helping, or has it been, it's not really?
Oh no, it helps amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah, for me, I know some people don't respond to BPC,
Yeah.
but
It
I
depends on the
know,
injury. It's like,
yeah,
people want miracles with BPs. Like if you have three herniated discs and you think, it's going to cure cure your
I've
herniated
I've
disc,
I've
you
seen that
know?
situation on
Or you got in a
Reddit,
motorcycle
unfortunately. Yeah.
accident, your whole leg, half your leg is cut off, and you like BPC is going to help with that. It's like
Uh,
it seems to help with like nagging injuries in my experience.
yeah, no,
Like more
really, like
nagging.
I know, like I hurt the back of like I wouldn't say hurt, like I lightly strained my Achilles like a week or two ago, and I injected BPC into it a few times over the week, and man, I could tell you like with the way my body responds to BPC, within a matter of a couple days, it was gone,
Hmm. So you're doing
completely
250,
gone.
250 micrograms. How often?
So I like to do it just mainly on training days, and because the way
Post training or before?
E- I like to do it before,
Hmm.
just in case because you're on your feet all day. Like the arthritis in my knee, I like to do it beforehand. But for me, I find that just 3-4 days a week works perfect. And you get to save a little bit money in the process too, because BPC it could be quite pricey depending
Yeah,
on
yeah, it is. Yep.
Yep. So I like to do either every other day or 3-4 days a week tops. But right now, these days, I just do on my training days, and then I like to save the rest because when I'm not in the gym, I'm not really beating my body up that much. So for me, like unless my knee really hurts or doesn't feel good, then I'll
Yeah.
inject it. But for the most part, just 3-4
Makes
days top.
sense.
Yeah.
Yep. So tell us, we have a few minutes left. Tell us about the future. You want to compete, when, and then what are you planning on doing when it comes to steroids to get you to where you want to go? Are you going to start doing more of the harsher stuff like the trend
Oh, I knew
or
that
the
was coming.
anadrol? Of
Every
course,
time,
it's
Steve.
coming.
Every time you and Mobster were like, "Hey, so where's the trend at?" And I'm like, "Ask Body Monster," because I have no clue.
You're gonna turn from such a nice guy into the biggest prick
Oh,
that we've
dude,
ever seen on trend.
dude,
And I
come
want to
on, man.
see
Like,
it. I want to see
no,
it.
no, you're here for my demise. You want to see the destruction. That's what it is. Let's go into the gym and lift the roof off of it and throw people out of it. So I don't know, man. I'm not gonna lie. Speaking of trying, I see guys run it, and I've been so against it. But the more I think about it, I'm like, and I hate this because like as guys, we get like this. I'll never do that. I'll never do this. And then that little bug bites you and it creeps in. And you're like, well, what if I just did 50 milligrams a week? What if I just did like 25 a day or something? Maybe I could keep that under control. See, and then it snowballs. Like I don't know, but as far as competing, I want to do men's physique. I want to start competition in 2026 is pretty much the goal. So right now, everything I'm doing between my recomp and my bulk and then my cut, it's all culminating into this goal of being a fierce competitor and trying to win as many shows as possible. So my future cycle that coach and I have pretty much already set in stone is going to be and a couple compounds I haven't tried before. So test has been in there. We've all run tests, but the ones I'm excited for is Anavar and Winstrol, and then Proviron. So it's going to be test Proviron, Anavar, Winstrol for my next cycle, which will be 12 weeks. The only thing that I'm very, very nervous about because I'm Italian, Steve, and I have very thick, beautiful, dark brown hair. And with all the podcasts I've listened to you and Mobster on, and
Yeah.
everybody talking about frying the head hair follicles, I'm like, oh, I really hope this is worth
Oh yeah. Tran and Winstrol. I mean, oof, like fried the crap out of my hair. Like fried the crap out of it. But like at the end of the day, look, if you start noticing your hair coming off and it's becoming an issue, then just stop it. That's a nice thing about Winstrol. It's out of your system quick. So it'll be out of your system within a week, week and a half. So it's not the end of the world. So
true,
it's just one of
true.
those things. But like if you go on stage and you're competing in physique and you really, really want to win, the guys that you're chasing, they're on these harsher stuff. So it's just like almost
I
like you
know,
have to, unless you just
I
want to
know.
go there just to go there. But it's just like
Oh, that's not me, Steve.
Yeah,
You know
it's
that.
hard.
You know I'm
You
gonna
know,
put my heart into it
yeah.
and try
You've
and
got
win.
you got to even the playing field.
Yep.
And you've got to and that's how it goes. But like at least I mean, we'll see what happens. But it'll be a nice experiment. Worst case, you just go enjoy it and you have a good time. But and then see what the other guys are
Yeah.
doing and kind of go from there. But at the end of the
Yep.
day, it's gonna be a nice. It's gonna be really cool seeing this. I think it's gonna be really interesting for everybody to follow Noah in the future and follow his future logs and seeing where he can go on these compounds and where he can end up being in his competition. So hopefully, within the next 2 to 3 years, we have him back, and he can say, "Yeah, I got my pro card." So
Do you know
uh,
what I'm actually most excited for? And you mentioned this because I caught episode, I think it was 619, where you were talking about GLP-1s. I couldn't help but smile and grin last night when I was driving home playing the podcast with you and Mobster because you mentioned GLP-1 and I was like, So he knows exactly where I'm going with this because you had mentioned GW with the GLP-1 and I was like, during my cut, that's actually what I'm gonna run.
okay,
I'm
which one are
actually
you
gonna
gonna
run
which one are you gonna do?
the Retrotide, I think it's
Okay,
called, you
what
said.
treater tried? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
yeah, that one
yeah,
seems just low dose, nothing crazy, just the minimally effective dose.
yeah. Just to kill
One
the appetite.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that with GW um while I'm running the
Yeah.
VAR Winnie
I've never
test and
noticed with
whatever.
GW fat loss. I've always noticed endurance, but it's weird because I've never noticed GW helps me with fat loss. That's
See
but it's been amazing with endurance, and some people are the opposite.
exactly.
It's amazing how these compounds are different with different people. So it'd be good. It's good, like you said, to experiment with different things and see what they do. And the GLP-1s boost glucagon in the body, and they slowly help you release insulin. So they kind of change the way your pancreas reacts. So we've had a lot
Right.
of stories from people using these GLP-1s, and they come off, and they get this massive rebound in their body fat, like when
See,
they
and
gain.
that's what I'm worried
Yeah.
about. But the
So
the the one thing that I thought about was, well, I'm very structured in my diet. If I
yeah.
eat clean, I eat in a deficit, I continue to work out.
Maybe it won't happen. Yeah. So it'd be good to
Yeah,
experiment. Yeah. And I've heard stories from people who have lost like 50 pounds and then they came off and they gained like 20 pounds back. So net, they
that's
had
so
still lost.
disheartening, man.
Yeah.
It's
But at
like,
least
what's
they
the point
still
of it?
net lost 30 pounds. So even though they gained almost half of it back, you see what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah, and like
different.
that's why my goal is to just use it on like a 16 or 20 week prep.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm doing. It's kind of a mock prep, and that's what we're gonna do with this cut. We're gonna treat it like a mock prep. So every time I cut, it's gonna be a mock prep because my coach is trying to figure out, okay, if I pull water here, or if I pull carbs here, or if I add protein here, how is his body gonna respond? How is he gonna look? Is he gonna be flat? Is he gonna spill
So
over? Is he holding water?
that's the advantage of having a coach. It's like more eyes. You got two more eyes on you that you may not
Yep.
see. So that's a good idea too. So do you recommend guys out there as we finish up? We only have 30 seconds left. Do you
Sure.
recommend guys out there like hire personal trainers and hire coaches, or do you think they're kind of overrated
Well,
if
I
they're not
recommend
it,
they
with or
go
without
ahead.
competing? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I recommend first and foremost that they come on evolutionary.org and they start listening to some of the veterans on there and then they kind of dive into the podcast. And there's so much free information that's quality information. It's not convoluted, it's not convex, it's just straightforward. You have a community of guys who are extremely helpful and knowledgeable and welcoming. It's like a big family on Evo. Um, I would start there because there's tons of free information where you don't need to get raked over the coals by paying a ton of money. But if you do hire a coach, I recommend that you do your homework, you do your vetting because there's so many scams and so much nonsense garbage out there now, Steve, that it's hard for me to recommend a coach unless I personally know them
Yeah.
or I've been around
They're
them.
they're copy paste the
Yeah.
same diet, same workout, same
Yep.
steroid cycle, like, and they charge $500. It pisses
Right.
me off as much as it pisses everyone else off.
Yeah,
Trust
and
me.
the
Yeah.
beautiful thing too, man, I met my coach on Evo. So like I have
Yeah.
the best of both worlds. I have a great community. I have excellent people like you and everybody that I interact with who's helped me free of charge for years now. No matter day, night, time, question.
Yeah.
everybody gets back
We
to
should
me.
we should
So,
hire you as our marketing agent for the forum.
hey man, I'm in
You're doing a
customer
great job.
service. All I
Yeah.
do is talk. So you got the right guy, Steve.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's
All
just
right.
because it made such an impact on me
Yeah.
in a
It
positive
is
way.
it is awesome, man. Just reading these logs. Like I myself, I go on these logs. I like literally copy people's training routines. I copy their recipes. Like they do these meals. Like someone did like a brown rice pasta dish, and I did the same
Oh,
thing.
that'd
It's
be
like it's
phenomenal.
such a good wealth of knowledge. Just if you just want to have fun and change up your diet, change up your training, and just get ideas from other people. So come on the
Yeah, well,
forum
even the
for sure.
pizza you made was phenomenal and it was
Yeah.
organic and it's healthy.
Yeah.
It's like,
And it
where
doesn't
else are
fuck
you
your
gonna find that?
stomach. Like if you
Right.
order pizza, it doesn't fuck up your stomach. So that's what we try to do on the forum, guys. So come on, check out Noah's log. Again, it's Noah space Wixx. I'll include it in the show notes. The title is 10-week bridge log, Balagas plus Pharmaco, testosterone, Masteron, NPC, BPC 157, AC Generate. That is the name of the log. And you can go on the forum and you can check out all his logs and check out his future log that he does and check out his future log in 2 years from now and 3 years from now when he gets his pro card. So please note, we're not doctors and the opinions are ours. It's our view and is based on our experience and views of the topic. Our podcasts are for informational purposes and entertainment only. The freedom of speech and the First Amendment applies. Have a nice one.